Hey, Jay here with our latest project bike. We're revisiting the Dirt Bike Magazine Goliath CRF 478cc bike we did a while back. The big bore bike, they really liked it as a motocross bike. Now we're going to go take this thing out and off-road it. We're going to race it in some works races and maybe some Grand Prix races. We're going to show you everything we did to make this thing a little bit more off-road worthy. So the most noticeable thing about this bike is the large capacity fuel tank. The IMS tank is 3.2 gallons. Stock is nearly half of that at 1.7 gallons. So it's a massive difference in fuel capacity. We won't need all 3.2 gallons for our 50 to hour long race, which in sandy conditions can burn a lot of fuel. The 1.7 gallon stock just isn't quite enough. So we've opted for the larger IMS tank. With the large capacity fuel tank, there was an issue fitting our radiator braces from Works Connection still on the bike. So we had to do some modifications to the top of the radiator brace to make them still fit. We still want the added protection of radiator braces in the case of a crash. The Cycra Rebound handguards are really good for roost protection, help with a little bit of light bushes and trees, but the best feature of these things is when you fall over, they bend back, so highly unlikely to break them in the event of a simple tip over. For the rear wheel of this bike, it's not critical, but we've opted for an 18-inch wheel to give us a smoother ride and less likely for pinch flats. An 18-inch tire has more sidewall and allows you for better impact resistance against large bumps and also a lot better ride on the course, especially in the rough off-road conditions in the rocks and the chucked out tracks that these races will be on. For the rim, spokes, and hub, we've gone through Tusk to build this wheel. The Dunlop AT81 tire is designed for off-road racing and to work in a very wide range of terrain. With the TAC, we've updated our graphics and numbers for this bike. We wore through our original seat cover with about 40 hours of motocross in this bike. We got a new Moto seat cover. Brand new from Works Connection are their oil filter covers. Really nice piece. We've added that onto this bike along with the Works Connection hole shot device, which is a must in the dirt. We've been motocrossing for years, and one of the things we enjoy about off-road racing or kind of a works racing or GP racing is the environment seems to be a little bit more friendlier. Everybody seems to get along a little bit better, a little cooler, not as many egos, and guys are just having a lot more fun with their families out there. And so that's one of the reasons we enjoy the off-road racing scene, and that's why a lot of guys tend to head out to these races, especially out west here. We don't have a lot of choices of woods races out west, and so our choices for off-road racing are these works races. Since works races are, for the most part, like large motocross races, our setup is usually very close to a motocross bike, softened up a bit. We can get away with the similar gearing, might be going down one on the rear. Speeds aren't enormous, so we usually don't have to worry about adding a steering stabilizer. If we get into some races out west here where the speeds increase and we're concerned about some head swap, we could add a steering stabilizer later. All right, so those are some of the major things we've done to this bike. There's a few little things that we still had to address. We put on our handguards. It gets really tight up here in the bars with space. We had to move over one of our stock OEM buttons. The front number plate doesn't quite clear. We had to do a little clearance with the fuel tank. So sometimes when you're adding, modifying, and doing some of this kind of stuff, you're going to have to do a little bit of modifying there. And you're going to have to just learn by trial by error in some of those cases. Also, with the suspension, it works very good on the motocross track. We've been working with Factory Connection, got that dialed. It's going to be a little bit trial by fire out there on the works course as well. We're probably going to start by softening up the fork and shock a few clickers just to get started and see where we're at from there. Probably drop the air pressure at least a pound in the front to kind of see if that helps us as well, but be right around our initial settings for motocross as well. So we're going to head to this works race. We've got 2 or 3 uni air filters already pre-oiled, and we're going to bring our stock motocross wheel as a backup so we have a good rear wheel mounted, and we're going to be ready to race.